So now it's Ben-Hur, a big, super colossal epic. My name's Pop Shannon, and this is the theater where I work. I'm a projectionist, movie operator, or as the public calls me if they ever think about it, the man in the box. I've been in the game for 50 years. I ran the original Ben-Hur, starring my favorite actor, Francis X. Bushman, on a hand-cranked Powers projector. I've known Leo, the MGM Lion, since he was a cub. Lots of things are new these days. CinemaScope, VistaVision, Cinerama, stereophonic sound, 70 millimeter. But the care of film is just as important today as it ever was. This is wide stuff, 70 millimeter with 6 magnetic tracks, 3 on either side of the picture area. And when it's mounted 2,000 feet to a reel, it weighs about 30 pounds. The projection speed is 112.5 feet per minute, about a quarter faster than the normal, so we check for possible crimps, nicks, bad splices, and other defects. A break can pile up a lot of film and cause no end of embarrassment. Some wag with nothing better to do figured that in my time, I have inspected 500 million feet of film. Now that's enough to go around the earth 4 times. Well, that checks out, so back to the bin for safekeeping. That's Charlie Fisher. Now, there's a real youngster for you. He's only been at projection for 38 years. Charlie's turning on the amplifiers in the 6-channel bank and getting ready to test. He can read the performance of each amplifier on one all-purpose meter. Sometimes it's my job to bleep the sound heads during the test with a piece of 1,000 cycle track. Charlie turns off the theater speakers so as not to disturb the paying customers. Then he gives me the signal to wiggle. My wiggle consists of pulling the track back and forth over the sound heads, which make a noise like bleep, bleep. Charlie tests each track on the booth monitor, and then he returns to the all position. I return to whatever I'm going to do next. Charlie makes a final check and puts the house speakers back on. Cleaning lenses is a must. With that big sheet down there, we need all the light we can get. And with a good sharp image, this baby's a 70 millimeter anamorphic. It weighs about 15 pounds with its pre-focus mount, and it contains complex elements which are coated for a better light transmission. You carry it like a baby. If you ever drop one, you better go home. Don't call the business agent. He'll call you. Charlie's very fussy about lenses. He should be. I taught him. Lens tissue and a special cleaning fluid. No rough cloth or handkerchiefs. Then a fine camel hair brush gets rid of most of the dust, and the tissue does the rest. Now back to the projector. Careful now, careful. Into place. Adjusted to 70 millimeter position. And locked in. Whew. It's coming up to showtime, so if we're going to have a picture tonight, I better put some coal in the stove. This is a new type stove, an arc lamp to you uninitiated persons. It's a water-cooled, reflector type, high-intensity job, burning a positive carbon that's 13.6 millimeters by 18 inches and a copper-coated negative 7/16 by 9 inches. Fired up by 135 amps of current, It eats up about 1 inch of positive carbon every 5 minutes of burning time. And properly focused, it would smoke the seat off your pants at 5 feet. Since people still pay money to see a good picture, we better get ready to deliver. Charlie's putting on reel 1. You won't miss the part he pulls off the reel. That's the leader. And it's only used to thread up the projector. Now he's going to the sound head. Boy, I'm sure glad the sound is on film now. I remember the old Vitaphone records. One of them jumped a groove on me once, and the soprano was singing the baritone's part. Placing the picture in the aperture is very exacting. The picture must be perfectly in frame so that when you see it on the screen, the top is not at the bottom and the bottom at the top. Threading on down, the leader's carefully wound around a take-up reel. Then the slack is adjusted so as not to snap the film when the machine starts. The clock's about straight up. Time to get the show on the road. Charlie's throwing the first knife switch, which holds down the thunder and lightning when the arc is lit. Now we're up to full steam. Next, the motor. Now open up, and if you thought you were going to see Ben-Hur, you got fooled. Buy your way in. We like to get paid each week.